Yo, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome to another video. Today we've got some interesting topics to go over, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we are starting off with the Nintendo Switch and a video that I've been wanting to do or explain, I guess, again for a while, but why this generation with the Nintendo Switch isn't necessarily in line with PS4 and Xbox One. Everyone's been saying, well, what is the Nintendo Switch? Is it generation 8? Like PS4, Xbox One? Is it generation 9? Is it generation 8.5? Exactly where does the Nintendo Switch fit? And I don't really think it's anywhere in line there. I know obviously people are going to put it historically, you're going to put it generation 9, right? Because the Wii U was in generation 8. That's when it launched, right around that time. So accurately, people are going to just say, okay, it's generation 9 because the PS4 successor and the Xbox One successor are probably coming out within the next year and a half to 2 years. So, okay, I get that. But I don't think Nintendo puts themselves in that category. I think Nintendo's kind of removed themselves from the traditional devices and what you see with generation 1, 2, 3, 4 going all the way up to 8 and now heading into 9. I think Nintendo is in generation 1. I think the Nintendo Switch itself, more like it, is generation 1 for Nintendo, because I don't think Nintendo's ever going back that timeline, back to the normal timeline there. So think of it, like I've stated before in previous videos, think of it as like the split timeline theory, like with The Legend of Zelda, right? You have one timeline where Link is doing this, this, and this, and then you have a separate timeline where this, and this happens, and it's completely separate from each other. And I think that's exactly where Nintendo's put themselves with the Nintendo Switch, because as you've seen, yes, they still have the 3DS going and they're doing some stuff, but there's nothing really new for it. And I know Nintendo stated, oh, well, we might have some type of successor to the 3DS, but I'm here to tell you guys, there will be no real successor to the Nintendo 3DS. There will be no real successor. Will they revise the system maybe in the next year or two, maybe make like another 2DS XL and make it even more refined? Maybe. I think that's a possibility, but an actual another portable device that's completely separate and doesn't link up some way, shape, or form with the Nintendo Switch and is separate, that's highly unlikely considering the massive success of the Nintendo Switch. And if you look at all the games Nintendo's doing, they're firing on all cylinders. You have Yoshi, you have Fire Emblem, you have just all sorts of games. Mario, New Super Mario Bros., everything is just all piling up on Switch. Luigi's Mansion, which it's the first time we've seen that game on a home console or a home console device from Nintendo since the GameCube. You have to remember, Dark Moon was on the Nintendo 3DS. Did very, very well. So all the franchises that you saw on 3DS that were big, like a Fire Emblem, like an Animal Crossing, all of that is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo is devoting the resources there. So this is a completely different mindset that Nintendo has with the Nintendo Switch. It is generation 1. They are starting over. And I don't think they're ever going to head back to the traditional bulky box type of device as long as the Nintendo Switch continues to do well and push things forward. And there's no reason to think that it wouldn't. Like, people have talked about, okay, well, the Switch not strong enough, home console, blah, 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 but that's not the point. This was the ground roots level. Nintendo wanted to experiment with something to see if it would work. And if it would work, then that's when they can take things to the next step. You have to realize that back in 2014, 2015, when really R&D was getting heavy into the Switch and like what this system was going to be, Nintendo actually had to wait to get the Tegra X1 chip, a chip powerful enough to be able to handle some of the games that are coming out, and they will revolutionize or they will modernize that going forward. We could see a completely custom chip from Nintendo with the Switch successor or a new Nintendo Switch Pro or something like that, but I think Nintendo wants to take this whole separate base of hybrid devices and make that their generation and going up. So my split timeline theory says this is a complete reboot for Nintendo. This is generation 1 for them, and they're gonna go from here and continue to evolve and develop until mobile chips are just as strong, if not better, than what we see in big bulky devices. But that's the thing that I kind of want to discuss a little bit more, because I'm not necessarily the best or the foremost authority on graphics and all of that, but I do feel at some point mobile chips are going to get so good to the point to where you can have a device as small as the Switch and still have graphics that are almost on par with a PS5 or a PS6, or just going forward. I think the mobile graphics are going to continue to get better. but is it possible for it to actually ever be the same? So will there ever be parity with a mobile chip and what you can do with a bigger x86 or PC-like device? I'm not sure if that's going to happen anytime soon, but at some point it's going to catch up. There's going to be the law of diminishing returns, which is actually already happening a little bit now, but I think it's even going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as we go forward. And all of the new technologies that we're seeing that everyone says, oh my gosh, look at this new thing. It's like ray tracing, right? It's like shadows. It's not as big as stuff that we got beforehand. It's not as big as what we've seen going from like the 6th generation to the 7th generation. It's just going to continue to get smaller and smaller, and things will get more refined and refined. But I do feel that Nintendo and Nvidia are really going to have a long-term relationship that's completely separate from what they've done. So I see this as a complete reboot. It's Nintendo's genesis, it's their beginning, and they're kind of going from here because this is pretty much what Nintendo needed to do, right? I mean, I didn't know about it at first. It was a weird concept to me, but if you look at what Nintendo's done in the past, all of their mobile devices or their handheld consoles or handheld devices have all been pretty much the top of the top. Heck, even in the generation of the Wii, where they sold over 100 million consoles, well, the Nintendo DS actually sold more than 50 million more than the Wii. So even in that, with their best-selling one, they still got outsold by the portable console that Nintendo does have. And heck, dating all the way back before the Wii, the NES was the next best-selling one at 60 million. And if you look at what's going on right now, you look at the Nintendo 3DS, that actually has the NES beat by more than 10 million units, and the NES is the NES. It literally saved the industry. So I think for Nintendo, this was somewhat of a no-brainer, but I think that this whole reboot or this whole approach that they're doing with mobile chips, hybrid devices, that's going to be Nintendo going forward. You cannot deny the rousing success of the Switch, and people want to be able to play games anywhere. Classic games that are simply tailored for that type of experience, being able to pick up and play, just fit so well. And then also the bigger console games, being able to plop it down into a dock and be able to play, have a separate dock in your house, go over there and play it. I mean, it's just something that you can't really replicate with just a big bulky box that just sits there. So I do think that Nintendo, this is their reboot, this is their Gen 1 system that they're going to be going forward with, and their thought process is completely different than what they did. It took the huge failure of the Wii U to get to this point, guys, but at the same time, everything happens for a reason, right? I do think that Nintendo made the right call on this one, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do going forward with new revisions, like a new Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2 and stuff, because people think that since PS5 and the Xbox One, 2, or Scarlet or whatever is coming out, Nintendo's not going to have any type of anything. And I don't think Nintendo's directly competing with that, but I think they're directly competing with themselves in order to bring the hybrid to a higher concept. Okay, well, what can we do next to push what hybrids can do? And I think that's where Nintendo's going with their thought process with this system. So I definitely think that we're going to see in the next 2 or 3 years a Nintendo Switch 2, or we're going to see a new Nintendo Switch revealed in the next year or so. I feel that's pretty much 100% going to happen, because it happened with the Nintendo 3DS, right? Yes, the jump wasn't as big, but we still got a little bit of a new system that's a bit stronger, and also multiple revisions making the system better. So we could see that with the Nintendo Switch. So what do you guys think about my theory with the Nintendo Switch being Generation 1, their reboot? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. All right, now moving into the final topic here. We've got Tokyo Game Show 2018. The live streaming schedule has been revealed. This should be a big show for Japanese titles. There's a lot of cool games that are going to be revealed. Ace Attorney looks like it's going to be revealed for the Nintendo Switch, so that's going to be interesting to see. And there's going to be some more surprise announcements. Tokyo Game Show in the past few years has been a little bit quiet when it comes to things. Last year, the Nintendo Switch kind of caught Japan by surprise, but this year, I don't think it will. We've already got a number of pre-TGS announcements, and things are looking good across the board, whether it's PlayStation 4 or it's the Nintendo Switch. So let's talk about the Tokyo Game Show a little bit, guys. So the Tokyo Game Show week is here. Finally, it is here. This year's annual exhibition runs from September 20th to the 23rd, and like the years before, there will be a multitude of live streaming for you guys to consume, and I will probably be live streaming some of these, my live reactions to some of this stuff, so stay tuned on the channel for that. There is a huge mega schedule. Now, I'm not going to go over everything because obviously it's going to take a long time to do so, and I will have a separate predictions video or live stream for you guys, but I'm looking forward to Ace Attorney the most. I want to see what they do with the Nintendo Switch and how it's going to come, and not because I'm a huge fan of anything, it's because of all of my users, all of you guys that have talked to me about Ace Attorney and everything and have told me about the franchise and get excited about it. So I just want to be excited for you guys. So I want to watch the whole Ace Attorney thing and see what they're doing there and see how it looks on the Nintendo Switch. It looks like there's going to be multiple different announcements for Ace Attorney, a brand new game and also potentially a collection as well. So Ace Attorney fans, you guys can get hyped and get ready for that. But I'm going to be interested to see some of the other announcements because multiple game developers have said, hey, we've got a new announcement for Tokyo Game Show. I think Tri-Ace has said that they're going to be revealing a new game for Tokyo Game Show as well. And you have to also remember, guys, there could be some more port announcements at Tokyo Game Show 2018 for the Nintendo Switch because Nintendo is going there for business. So Nintendo could get some new port announcements there. On top of that, there could be some deals secured for ports in the future. Now, Nintendo's not going to be presenting or anything like that, so don't expect any type of live stream from them showing off new Switch titles or stuff like that, but they will be there conducting business. So that's a good thing because Nintendo hasn't went to Tokyo Game Show in a while. So to see them actually go there and be talking to developers, that's a good thing. And of course, the Nintendo Switch is killing it in Japan. So I think all the different publishers kind of want Nintendo to be there in some way, shape, or form, especially with how well the Switch is doing. So this is an exciting week, guys. I'm looking forward to Tokyo Game Show. You guys want the full schedule? I'll have a link for you guys in the description. And we're going to be talking more about Tokyo Game Show this week since it is going down just in a few days here. So this is going to be awesome to see. So what do you guys think about Tokyo Game Show and my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch being Gen 1 here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.